can you really check your history and yourself?
Stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. Hey, 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 Republicans. I see you called on your fellow man. All dicks and no nuts. Then you rush to call me a slut. I'm standing up for what is mine. Call me the rib, but I'm really the spine of this whole great nation. Ain't gonna put me back on the plantation. No, stop playing politics with my punani.
It's me. Oh my gosh. Listen, I feel like I just did the show and I'm back. I'm like, how does this thing work again? How does this machine work? Woo, I'm having a morning or afternoon. How are you, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the special edition of Punanny Politixxx. I was over here trying to figure out, I don't know, something's going on with Facebook right now where usually you can do a watch party on your regular page, but for some reason it's not letting me set up a watch party. So I was trying to get it together and I'm like, show's starting. Anyway, I'm here. And thank you for tuning into the show. Welcome to the special election edition of Punanny Politixxx. I might still try and get it popping on my regular Facebook page, but for right now, I'm not even going to concern myself. But yeah, I just decided, because as most of you know, I had done a show on the full moon, which was 2 days ago, right? Halloween, it was 2 days ago. And I had always been planning to do a pre-election, just come and sit, fireside chat kind of situation the day before the election. So here I am. But what I wasn't expecting was to have a guest. But when Sandra St. Victor was on with me, I believe that was episode 7, she said at the time that she'd be more than happy to come back and talk and chat and do all the things and get to the things that we didn't get to when we were talking that night or that afternoon, that day. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. I just want to say, we made it. Tomorrow is the day, and we've been voting for the last, here in New York for the last week. I feel like maybe a little over a week. Yeah, maybe a little over a week. And some places started their early voting, way before we did. And folks here in New York, it's been kind of amazing because it's been raining here, and the weather hasn't been great, but folks have been out. They've been with their umbrellas and just doing it and getting it done. So I feel like tomorrow, while I know there will still be lots of people, because I know for some folks it's just a ritual to vote on election day. And honestly, if I wasn't working the polls tomorrow, I probably would have voted tomorrow, because that is sort of my thing too. But I went and I voted early, but I am expecting that there will still be lots of folks out tomorrow all over the country. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. And maybe I'll try and troubleshoot. I don't know, and figure out what's going on with my Facebook page or not. Or maybe I'll just let everybody come to YouTube, whatever. Or maybe you'll just see it and people will show up, or whatever the case may be. We're here and we're going to do it. So without further ado, I know usually I do a little what's the updates and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to know what I was talking about on Halloween, you can go back and check episode 10. Just go to the YouTube channel. Blackbush.com/YouTube. YouTube.com/Blackbush. And you can see episode 10, where I give, sort of what the deal is. And we'll probably get into some of that today anyway, because it's still going on. But I'm not going to do all the bells and whistles. We don't have a moon forecast today, though I will be talking about the moon today. I will say this as we get going. So throughout this early voting time, Mercury has been retrograde. Mercury goes direct tomorrow. But if you know anything about Mercury retrograde, if you're into that, you know that there are shadow days. So it doesn't necessarily mean that like just because it goes direct that we're like, woo, you know, all right. But it is a good sign of going direct on election day. Not mad at that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage our special guest returning to the show, Sandra St. Victor.
Hey! Yes, this is the one I wanted to do.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, we're here.
Yes, barely, but you know, we are somewhere, and I am. It's like you said, we've been voting in New York for how many days?
Yeah, about a week now.
I feel like we've been voting for my entire adult life.
Oh,
yeah, because of how the campaigns one just rolls, and they start 20 years before the actual race.
Right.
It's a lot. And my vote has not been counted yet, and I'm not happy about that.
Well, how do you know? Like, what do you? Because I know you have to send it.
Yeah, after that. Well, I do it every year, obviously, because I'm in the Netherlands.
Right. So they don't count them until after. Is that what it is?
Well, this is the first time we've had a track. No, actually, it's not. It's not the first time. But last year we also got your vote was counted. I got an email actually, which was like, that started last year. But there's a new Secretary of State in Texas, got in 2019, and you know who put her in anyway. So that's making it harder for people to vote. So which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy because it's a reliably used to be red state.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because today, you know, there's people are saying, you know, as long as you get your ballot postmarked by the 3rd, and I'm just like, If this is my word to my people right here in the U.S., if you are here, if you have a ballot in your hand and you're thinking about mailing it today, no. Tomorrow, just go to your polling station and drop it. Don't play none of that. In New York, there are I don't know what it is in other states, but I know in New York, by the information desk, there's a box. And anybody that wants to come and just drop their ballot, if you were planning on mailing it in, you can just come, you can drop it in the box. Boom.
They won't make you wait in the line?
Nope.
Because you got your ballots. You don't have to go in there. Yeah.
You still just got to go, drop it in the box.
Okay.
That's it. So, yeah, I mean, it's there's no, people don't think about mailing nothing today. Don't think about going into the post office and getting a stamp saying that it's November 2nd.
Come on, who could be doing that? You know what they've been doing? They've been playing games for months now about the kneecapping the postal system. So that was, of course, a part of the plan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not sure where to start today. I went back through sort of looking at some of my old shows or past shows, I should say, and things that I didn't get to talk about. You know what I mean? Because I have a whole, it's like you have a whole list of things and you look up and it's like, oh, time's up.
Happens all the time when it's going well.
But exactly. So, I mean, man, there are so many things, but I don't know if you had anything particularly on your mind at this time, or I could just jump right in.
Do you think? Because we're going to get to it.
So what I was going to jump into, and it's so part of me doesn't even want to go back here, but I had to go back to when you were on the show and we were talking about Ice Cube's contract with Black America. And then right after that, all hell broke loose, right?
Oh my God, didn't it? Did they see our show? I was like, no.
Oh my God. All hell broke loose. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow. And and what's interesting about that, and I spoke about it actually on the show after yours, because I know a lot of I personally feel like he just got played. That's how I feel. I feel like he went into something thinking that he kind of knew how that game was played. and he just didn't.
Yeah, I think that is the biggest part of that thing. Another thing is he played himself at the beginning of this whole thing. Okay, we love Ice Cube. I massaged him and all that stuff, but I was down with that West Coast groove, Yes. But anyway, so he squandered a lot of trust by playing himself, coming out like that in particular, right with the timing, without doing enough research,
right,
to before you open your mouth. And I was talking to a friend today. I was like, the thing is. So if you want to do something, if you don't want to vote yourself, fine. Mm-hmm. You don't have to want to vote. But so what are you going to do with that? Your opinion, I don't want to vote. Am I going to try to influence other people to vote? Or I want people to really know my opinion. So then wait till after the election to do this. This is Tariq and Nashad I'm thinking about right now, by the way, who said, I am not voting Tuesday. I'm like, why are you telling us that yesterday? It's like, why would you want to influence your large base? And that's what Cube, I think, did, because he did not reach out to all these boots on the ground.
Right.
How many organizations have structures and have for decades actually had papers written up, had their own contracts.
Whole documents, several page documents.
Several thicker than his thing, and going deeper, expounding on those things, because these people, again, experience in the field, boots on the ground, civil rights activism on. And the next generations. So so when they came up with these documents, where did they go? They went to Mitch McConnell's desk to die. That's where they went. So, I mean, it's not like, so he could have then taken his celebrity and that platform and that megaphone and then added that value to an already, deeply researched, highly studied, document, as opposed to wanting to, be the man that got it.
Yeah. Because that was the thing that was so weird for me, because I was just like, obviously if you're creating something like this, you're not doing it yourself, but it was so hard to find the names of the people who helped. And I was like, he wasn't really good about taking all the shine on.
Yeah, that I saw that. I just, it's like, it just looked to me that you were not serving anyone but yourself and your ilk. You're not serving the Black community. You're doing this because if we right now lose to Trump, you ain't gonna get everybody to read your contract, Black Americans. So then the vast majority of people won't even know what that's about, won't even have a clue that it exists. Right. But you just, because you're Ice Cube, have told, tens of thousands, possibly in important communities to vote, to hold their voice back. You could have waited, or you could have taken this back seat and taken their value to help somebody already on the board. He's not on the board.
Right. And that's why I said the week following, what I didn't want, to sort of perpetuate is this idea that if you are a known person, that you don't have a space in the political field, because that's not what it is. Because some people are trying to get into that whole he's a rapper, he should just sit down and da 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 da. And I'm this is not about that. Because you come from a legacy of artists as actors.
Yes.
So I just want to and it's not even about, honestly, it's not even about being a Republican or being a Democrat, but in times where we as a community, the whole community, need to get rid of somebody who's detrimental to our very survival. Yes. Is this the moment you want to try to be Malcolm X, bro? Where were you a year and a half ago with all of that, where there was some time to possibly make something, substantial. So I just think that the ego got ahead, and that's why I say he played himself. Yes. And then he, and then man, the Cooner, they played him so hard. I was embarrassed for him. They had him put a MAGA hat on him in 50. They did. And Eric Trump tweeted the shit. I was like, he got on a MAGA hat. It was, it was a fake photo. So
they use your ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now
And
you
it's and it's just kind of amazing to me, I guess, that we're not, savvy enough. But I'm gonna get into that in a minute because I don't know if maybe savvy is not the word. But then, okay, let me just pivot a little bit because it's on the same vein. But so there's been like a lot of conversation, and I watched a conversation recently that came out of the African American Policy Forum with these brothers who were talking about, Black men voting for 45, and then also just the conversation around, why we don't or certain sections of us like really vote against our best interests.
Yes.
And what that is about.
Yeah.
And then of course it was a big, Jamel Hill, she's always tweeting out something that somebody's jumping on her about, but she had tweeted about, having conversations or being in spaces with Black men who are, saying they're going to vote for 45, but they also are really more about maintaining the patriarchy than really about the love of community and moving us forward, as a community. So it was really, and that was hard because of course everybody's gonna come and be like, I'm a Black man. It's like, boo, we're not saying all Black men.
Nobody said all Black men. Okay, yes, but that is a contingent. That is definitely a contingent, and that's the sector that I believe. I mean, for all kinds of historical, emotional, spiritual reasons, where we are in the hierarchy of things, so who do they have? Who that particular insecure man? Who did that particular guy have? The Black woman under him. You know what I mean? So
yes, yeah.
So as opposed to when I think about those documents that he could have spoken to, some of those, a lot of those are written by women. And certainly, a like group of men and equally women. There was like no reason to put yourself. It was like a Trump, like branding. You didn't have to do that.
No.
I'm so mad at that, and I still love all them records, man. It's like,
well, I'm also not like feeling like I need, because some people like, I got to cancel Ice Cube, but I'm like, I'm not canceling anybody. I'm kind of tired of that.
Yes.
But it spoke to when I was watching that conversation again from the African American Policy Forum. And for those of you who are not familiar with the African American Policy Forum, it's an organization that was started by Kimberly Crenshaw, who is really known for putting into the forefront the, say her name, basically, which is about bringing attention to Black women that are being killed by the police out here in the world. But they had a conversation again with these brothers, and there was something that came up, which I always have thought about, and I probably mentioned, throughout my life in many a conversation, but about, where as Black men they find power or, back. And it was, a lot of that was in the church, right? Like that was the only place. Yeah. So people were like, you were the minister, you were the deacons, you were the trustees, and that was where you found your power because every place else, as was holding you down.
For sure.
So, again, it's like, and then you start to take on these traits of your oppressor because like you said, the only person who is under you is your woman and your children.
That's it. And I'm thinking, that is exactly what I was meaning. And I called him the insecure man. And maybe I shouldn't say that because it's based, like I said, historical, spiritual, deep, generational pain. Yeah. And so, and it's not like systemic racism has helped to sort of, erase it. Matter of fact, we've gone back 50 years in the last two. So, it's not that we as a Black woman do not understand and do not want to we need us.
Right. Okay. We need all of us.
We need us. Okay. I mean, we need us. And so listen, there's always an open door for a conversation, to try to but I think he did it he just totally did it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And we also, like you mentioned, you got your rappers, right? who like the whole idea of power in your own money, which we all do, but it's another level with a Democrat. Yeah. It's kind of another level. And that is the more Republican, and the Democrats are more about literally caring about the community.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we got the rappers that align with the wealth part of it, and then you got my aunties and uncles, by the way, in church, who based their choices not on what's good for the community, but what's good in the idea of pro-life, basically. So that's where that piece comes from. That's where the gospel part comes from. I mean, and up until when? Very recently, you couldn't be an out gay Black pastor. You could be. Everybody would know, but you don't ever say that.
Right.
So I mean, so the homophobia and also the misogyny in that particular hierarchy is also very, very. Sometimes women can't speak, in church.
Right.
So
Right. Absolutely.
I just hate to, I really, really don't want to denigrate Black men because I love my brother.
No.
I look at them and I'm saying, okay, I see why.
Exactly.
But my job is part of, this whole understanding is, I have to bring the moral, the community. I got to bring it back to all of us, not just my money right now. And I wouldn't know how I would have that conversation, but I would love to have a conversation with somebody that did not delve into insults and just throwing out,
Well, I also feel like that thought around the money piece of it is also coming from a lack space. It's like you're coming from a space of scarcity, because I know that 50 is not hurting for money. And I know that regardless of who gets into office over these next couple of days or tomorrow, whatever, it's not going to really affect him. It will affect him. Yeah, sure, it'll affect him, but it's not really going to affect him.
No, it's not a life-altering thing for him.
No,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But for a whole lot of people in his community, well, it used to be, I guess, but in his community, it is going to be life and death and literally survival.
Yeah.
People getting evicted now. I mean, and he's like, we're rounding the curve. I can't take that boy. Ooh, Donald.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think my hope, and the thing that has always sort of been I don't want to say bothered me, but it always made me why are we having this conversation is, why sometimes inside the community, we have a conversation about who's been hurt more, Black men or Black women.
Yeah.
That needs to go.
Yeah.
That just needs to squash over, because it's a non-conversation.
Right. There's no value.
There's no value.
Okay, period. Neither of us have been in that situation. And so we suffered together.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a newer conversation.
Yeah. But again, it's something. I was talking, I don't know if you've ever seen the show In Class with Dr. Greg Carr with Karen Hunter. Oh my gosh. It's really, it's class. So Greg Carr, nobody would know, but I actually went to school with him at Ohio State. He was above me. I think he was in law school or in grad school, whatever, when I was an undergrad. But he's the same person now that he was then, meaning he's very, ridiculously well read. He's one of these cats that can read a book and give it back to you verbatim. He's that.
Okay. Got it.
But they do every Saturday a class, what they call In Class with Dr. Greg Carr on YouTube. You should totally check it. Just go back and watch some of these old episodes. It's always on point and always amazing. Okay. But one thing that he said yesterday, which stuck out for me as well, was about how and I think I might have said this to you too. Like we sometimes get caught up in this Democrat Republican thing, and it really ain't about that. Like, like people think, oh, you're going to vote for Biden. That means you're like caping for the Democrats. It's like, no, boo. It's like, I am voting.
Really, our interests.
Right, for our interests. And that's what it said. It was saying like, we're voting for Black interests. And he had, and that's it.
That's it.
People get into this whole thing of like, oh, well, you're for these people. You think these people are going to save you? It's like, no, B.
No, boo-boo. No, that's the thing. It's like, so yeah, you're like some total sellout because you got a Biden t-shirt or whatever, but it's, you have to look at the long game. This is not just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not just what this election does, and the day after the election, it's over, and then you go on with your life, and everything, it rolls up. It doesn't work like that, and that people can't understand that at this point because we have in several of the past elections, seen the repercussions of one way or another bad for us. 2010, it was bad for Democrats, and 2018 was great for Democrats. So what? When we show up and vote, we can get one of the houses of Congress that has, laws and I mean all of the things that we should put front. That's what I'm saying about the church. The church puts abortion first, and then you've got your the money, the wealth sect. Those are the main two. But we want wealth. We have earned wealth above and beyond. Nobody's saying, oh, we're trying to just socialism. It's like, okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So then you start on the here shit. But I mean, no, we all want wealth and we want some form of reparations, the bad R word, And I mean, we all want the same things, what we deserve, what we've earned. So when you put that R and the D in front of, then there's a lot that's taken for granted without any explanation. Or so, if the Republican was the one doing right by the Black community, you know what I mean? Honey, honey, I'd be like, Avra. Are all down the line, right?
Right, but this, it's completely another agenda.
Thank you. It's not. I can't. And if you have children or anything, do you know a woman that you like? How could you think?
But it is. I mean, I also understand that as a people, for a long time, the belief was that if you could just, like, don't rock the boat, don't, just fit in, just sort of like do what you got to do, buy this house, buy this car, everything's fine, that will all be fine. And it's just like, man, when does that
piece? Yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
No. And it's weird because we always talk about like, oh, if this old guard could just go away, die, whatever. I'm not wishing anybody death, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of a sudden we could. It's like, but no, because it's a mindset that's been passed down and it's continued to be passed down. So it's just sort of like, but I guess that's also why I say, for me, I have really been thinking about my community and our community and how we can break the chain of what we have going on in our mind, because those folks need to figure that out for themselves and get their own folks together, so then we can all come together. But like, we've all been, indoctrinated into these ways of being that we have to unravel ourselves from. Right.
But we do have to do the work to do that, to get there, and first part of that is acknowledging that there's work to be done.
And a lot of us don't do
that. No, man. I think a lot is going to change in the next, month. And just as far as, well, obviously not tonight, but 24 hours from now or 48 hours from now, at least, you know, we at least know what we're working with, right?
Yes.
So, no, we won't. We will not know the answers, but we will know what we're working with. Okay, this is what they. Okay, I see what. Okay, so that happened, and you know, you start doing your numbers, then, and you can relax. But I mean, we know what's gonna. We know how this thing plays out. You know, I do believe that we are going to have to grow together a lot more, and I don't mean that in a inane way, but the fissures that you were just talking about, you know, of pain comparison or suffering comparison, or who's above who, or you know, all of those sorts of things, and that's when we have to come. You know, then we are our own little R&Ds, which is okay. First, can we fix that piece, and you know, and then you can elevate above to the next level. Because sure, you know, I want the world to be nice and beautiful. But can I fix my house first? Right. Can we finally perhaps get to that? You know, that ideal.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean, it's hard. I understand, you know, to imagine a world operating differently when so many people have been working so hard to make it work in the world as it is. And like, you know, I gotta say, the only thing constant is change. And that's the thing that people hate the most.
For real. For real. Yes.
And things are changing rapidly.
Yeah.
Changing rapidly.
Yeah. And I think I'm hopeful that that's for good. A lot of that is going to be, you know, I think our consumerism, you know, it should be smarter by now going through this. And if it's not by now, it will in a month or so. We need to kind of all the things that they were talking about, Black nationalism in the early 70s. I was a kid, but I read all that stuff when later. But this is the kind of thing, you know, it's not some hotep, you know, kind of idea. I'm talking Black nationalism, because we're going to have to learn to have some semblance of what the Jewish community has, especially in like New York, where they have their own banks, they got their own hospitals, they got their own ambulances, they got their own schools, they got their own money, and you know, that's why they're not afraid of, you know, so they have issues. Same thing with Korean. I mean, a lot of minorities that came literally as immigrants, not that we came, you know, they don't have that generational pain that we dealt with.
Right.
On top of the system working against us at every freaking turn.
Right.
So I just went totally off on a tangent because I was going through the New York neighborhoods in my head, going, oh my God, and I forgot what point I started with.
Well, about Black nationalism, and not saying that it's a hotep idea. You know, it's an idea of like, you know, it's really a love idea. You know, it's an idea of like, I don't have to agree with everything that you believe. Like, for instance, when you're talking about the church, like you can be pro-life and I can be pro-choice, but I can still love you and you can still respect me. And I don't have to be against you or vice versa. And you don't have to, you know, damn me to hell. And I don't have to like try and convince you that, you know, a woman has a right to do what she wants to do with her own self. But there just needs to be a love space, like just a space of like, I just love you and respect you, and I don't have to agree with you, but I'm also not going to try and kill you. Like, I'm not going to try and hold you down and try and stop you from, you know, living the life that you feel that you want to live.
Exactly.
And so in turn, you know, don't mess with mine, you know.
It's mutual respect. It should be a mutual understanding, not even it's unsaid, you know, don't have to think about it.
Right.
Mutual respect.
Just mutual respect.
And, you know, I do me, but we doing this for us. I mean, you know, there's the space, I think, is just right there. And I really think in a couple of months, or at least the beginning of next year, things are not going to be normal. So folks got to kind of get rid of that idea. Things are not going to go back to normal.
No, because we still got to figure out this pandemic.
We got to figure out this pandemic, and that's not happening overnight. So we are going to have to understand that who's going to take care of us is us. Okay. Yeah. So it's not about everybody trying to scramble to get their reps out of work, but we have to think on the sub level, okay, so this move helps the community. This move doesn't. I mean, I'm trying to think simply on that level, but and make choices based on that. Make choices based on community. Make choices based on the future, not just your next year, 401k, but the future.
Right.
You got to include that with your 401k so that there is, something to pass down. But I mean, there's just that's the thing that I'm missing right now, and I feel like we talked the talk starting in the late 60s and 70s, and we really never walked the walk because of the fact that I think a lot of ego and a lot of things happened to get us away from that.
Well, there was that. I mean, there was some, but I think it was also, to be honest, it's like so much happened to get to that push to the Voting Rights Act, right?
Absolutely.
And so you get there and, you got it. And I think what happens, and it happens a lot, like you feel like you've been pushing. It's like, whoo, I need a moment. But then also at the end of that moment, everybody started getting killed. A few years later, and then people start to get disillusioned.
Of course.
Around that. And as Senator Pat, who's been on my show, Pat Spearman has said, because she really lived through that time, was like, as you talked about long game, like from 1965 to 2020 has been the Republicans' long game.
Yes.
It's been a long game. With a little hiccup called Obama, but everything else.
No, it really, it's the brilliant evil genius sort of plan. If you look back, it's not one person, but a chain of conservative leaders.
Right. And when you are, and just thinking about it, if you are how we were, people that like, you maybe were only able to earn so much or only able to get so far. A lot of that shifted, in the 80s when it was that time of decadence and people were doing a whole lot of stuff and money was everywhere. And, so you start to sort of get this vibe like, oh, we're good. Right. Even when you see things are not all good.
It's better than it was before. It is important to see progress as you go along. It's definitely important. Because then that disillusionment creeps in if you don't. So I think you see it slowly. What is that thing Obama always says? The arc of justice bends slowly, but it doesn't get there. So I mean, it definitely takes time, and when you're living in it, you may not even sort of so subtle that you're not sure. Oh wait a minute, the things that become normal. Things get normalized very quick. I think we've had like, it's hard for me to, it would be hard for me to imagine us, not in my lifetime, getting to that place where we have that sort of nationwide, hopefully international community that can depend on each other the way I see other ethnicities do. Certainly in America and over here, but we're gonna get there. I just when these moments when you got like 48, 72 hours and before somebody's gonna say that they can control my body or they can tell me to say blessed be the fruit or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
I'm like, whoa. I do believe he will landslide tomorrow. Yes. Numbers initially, because some of the early voting will start to be counted. Some of it already has. And they can talk. They can then say the numbers.
Yeah.
But the day vote is gonna be a lot of Republicans that he told them that mail-in voting was a fraud, right?
Oh, right. So so in those places, people will be lined up. Yeah.
Right. So, and that's why he, of course, has been harping on mail-in ballots are fraud, because the Democrats say mail your ballot in. We do early. It's like a very evident, obvious game, but it's the fact that it's so obvious makes it like amazing how brazen, these little, they're like tiny coups that they just chip away at your idea of normalcy, and it's not even a story anymore, which is crazy,
Right. Yeah, I said this, and I might have said this on another show or with you, but I remember in 2016, after that election, like I felt like, the biggest losers are really those folks out in those rural areas that really think that this dude and this administration, really not just him, but the whole administration, that they think that those folks really have their best interest at heart.
It's amazing.
And they just don't. And it's amazing how much they have staked on whiteness.
Oh yeah.
And really staked their whole life, their health. Right.
Oh yes. They would rather give up their health.
Yes.
Would let you have it, because that's socialism.
Yeah. Yeah. And not understanding, it's not even into socialism, like the first thing I always talk about, or is mentioned when people try and act like they don't want to have socialism, is like, oh, so you don't want your kids to go to public school? So
come on now.
We're gonna close down all these schools, then we're gonna have y'all pay that money to go to private school.
Right. What do y'all think all that is?
Right. But they don't know what that is.
No, they don't. They're just parroting. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And
actually, it's not unfortunate. It's a land, right? This is by design. The Republicans are so much better at messaging than us. They are so much better at it. We know how to tingle each other's hearts, but the Republicans know how to and they're cruel enough. I'm sorry, I don't mean all Republicans.
Right. Right. Current. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you Republicans have a I want to say, I'm trying to be nice again now here.
Not be nice. Be a Republican. Anyway, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. They seem to be missing a gene, like the think about another gene. Think about others' gene. I'm like, y'all don't give a flying rat's patootie about anyway. So that's something. It's about whatever, for whatever reason, most Democrats have at least some form of understanding that we have to take care of. And we do have to take care of each other. This is a society we're living in. We're all not in our own.
I think even right now, a lot of people who have been Democrats for years or whatever are starting to realize, especially with the death of George Floyd, I always say, white liberals are scary. You know what I'm saying? Because because there's this idea that oh no, I'm good, I'm perfect, I'm doing the right thing, and I'm we'll be some of the first people to hit you with the microaggressions, right? So I think, but this moment is also making those folks really reevaluate how they've been walking in the world and how they've been saying that they are about everybody, but still reaping the benefits of white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism, and misogyny. Right. My girl Bell Hooks would say. So, so it's again, it's that mirror moment that I think, where people thought it was kind of would end. I think when people get shot in the street and we don't think about it and it happens and it's gone, but this is something that is not going away. And so it's a real moment again of looking at yourself or looking at ourselves. And it's interesting because white folks don't have any problem, talking white nationalism. But when we start talking Black nationalism, all of a sudden it's like, whoop, we got a alarm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we the Black Panthers all of a sudden are,
and right, exactly. And so I think it's important, like you said, to understand that Black nationalism is not, it's not like the opposite of white nationalism. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this rat, we're out here, we're going to be, some folks are going to have guns, but everybody's not out here, trying to, but because if that was the case, as this, if revenge was the case, it would have happened a long time ago.
Come on. Right. Come on.
It would have happened a long time ago.
No, we're not going to, it's not that at all, Yeah. No, what I do see is we're gonna have to figure this out, and we will figure it out. And I do see it incrementally happening. But in 2016, when this thing happened, November 8th, I remember. Oh my God, it's like one of the worst nights, ever. Because I could see what was going to happen. It was pretty clear, and that he was, well, we're New Yorkers, we know this dude, we know what he does,
right?
We knew who he was, but
right.
he carnival barked the rest of the world, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to watch the people be as gullible as they are. Sometimes we're gullible. I'm not saying we're not, but this particular time they were very gullible. But the seed of that is, it's not economic anxiety. Okay, the seed of that is, I will do whatever I can and vote for whoever I can that is going to keep me in the superior position that I feel, even though I'm in the lower income bracket of my county or whatever. And but you know what? This guy believes what I believe. We're losing ground as the superior, it's going to be majority minority and blah, blah, blah. And superior. When I see something, I'm like, is that your king?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have a civil war because I was thinking that about a month ago. I'm like, we're going to have a civil war. Oh, shit. We ain't going to have no civil war. It's like, no.
I mean, I just feel like I've been saying this too. It's like, what do you want to have happen? Meaning, like, when people start talking about the doom and gloom and da-da-da-da, I'm like, well, do you want that to happen? Like,
I do not.
I've been talking to folks about it, and it hasn't been like from a very like, like a calm conversational sort of space.
Yeah.
It's been from like an alarmist, like this is right. And I'm just sort of like, well, wait a minute, pause. Do you want that to happen? And if you don't want that to happen, then like, how about shifting your mindset to a space of what you want to see? And that's not being like naive and like thinking that there aren't going to be some, crazy mofos out here that are going to, do what crazy mofos do. But what it is about, being able to be in quote unquote control of your own mindset and your own thoughts.
That's it. Right.
So it's I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe for me, because I never really went to a space of civil war, like throughout any of this. I just was, for me, it was just sort of like, these folks have shown who they are all the time. Who's that, Maya? Was that, or Tony? When people tell you who they are, believe them?
Believe them. Right. No, for sure. Right.
So it's like, I know who these folks are. I'm not confused. I don't think it's like, I just think that, we're in a very different time. And I think that there's maybe somebody has told them that they can just do, but I think they're going to be, surprised.
Well, yeah, they, people are showing up and showing out. And did you see that video was it Fort Worth?
Yes, I think when the guy was driving through and then people turned him around.
They got him out there, so folks are like, okay, listen, you're not going to come through here and stun us. You know what I mean? And I don't don't think that's going to happen. That'll be sporadic. I don't really think it's going to be an army of Trump voters out there, because y'all got to vote today. Remember? So
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like
you got to get out there today.
Yeah, I'm not answering that. So you're supposed to vote, right? So,
right.
But I don't think it's going to be all that, and I do think in those kind of places you will have what those guys called? I always forget their name. The not fucking around crew, coalition, the not
brothers that have the yes.
Okay.
I think that it's something. It's
not fucking around coalition. I think it is. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I mean, so they're pretty well organized too, and I saw when they showed up. Then they start pepper people. You know what I mean? So I don't, I just don't think it's going to go there because a lot of these people are keyboard warriors. They're not actually, they've only played, Call of Duty, and shotguns and cans, and you get the surprisingly average, but determined Kyle Rittenhouse every now and then.
Right.
So it's not going to be all that. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? I mean, definitely could be dangerous.
Yeah.
It could be dangerous. These guys act, because they know they've got an attorney general, Bill Barr, who basically has been on a tour. I don't know if you know, it's like the past 2 or 3 weeks where people's like, where's Bill Barr? For it's almost been definitely 3 weeks whenever I started getting corona.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he tested positive, and then you didn't see anything for this. They said he tested positive.
Right, they say.
He was going around the country to major cities and meeting with each attorney general and each police chief, and and people, what is he doing? What is he doing? So you can't, and of course, we don't know what he was doing. It could be just legitimate voter, polling station safety. It could be, sure. I don't,
it's crazy because I know that also I think they were saying that like every place that there has been a rally, a Republican rally, like the corona cases have gone up like exponentially in all of those places. So that's why I'm like, wow, yeah. Folks are just willing to risk their lives to keep him. Yeah. In the hopes of staying on top.
That's all it is. Granny, I'm sorry, but you got to go. Because this is our chance.
Yeah. It's things are just like every time I turn around, like I was saying on my show yesterday, 2 days ago, I don't know if you had heard that, I'm sure you did, that the one of the officers in the Breonna Taylor case is trying to sue Breonna's former, her
girl.
Right. Like seriously, y'all? Like y'all, like seriously? And then the brother who was killed in Philly in front of his mom.
Yeah.
And with a bunch of people like, do not shoot him. Right. Like we know him.
Right.
We just need this to be de-escalated.
Yeah, but they don't listen to that anymore because they've got protection to do kind of things they want to do. So I mean, I'm sure you know that a lot of police departments in these urban areas are there. This is an FBI study that militia and also the Ku Klux Klan and white nationalist groups send people to join the police force. So, and they've been doing it 4 years. So it's riddled with white nationalism.
Yes.
It really is. The whole country is riddled with they do not value Black life.
But that makes sense because that's what the police come
That's what they were before.
Right. It comes from the overseer. So
thank you. You know what I mean? These guys were out there anyway. They had their little badge. What's that little badge called? Safety patrol.
Right.
Safety patrol.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yo, I mean, so this is that. that ticks. Yeah. You know,
Mhm.
they don't care. They definitely do not value, you know, on a large Black life. I'm sure there's a good cop out there everywhere, somewhere. But I just feel like if you're a police and you know how they are, and you still part of that, you know.
Well, I think it's you know, just like anything else, right? Like you think you can be inside of something and maybe change it, or you think you can,
Yeah, sure.
You know,
that's what we're doing right now with the Democratic Party. Anyway,
Yeah.
like you said, we don't. It's not one or the other. It's who is going to take care of our community. Period. We have to look after our interests, and that's the party that's going to do that for us right now.
Right now, yeah.
I mean, do you have an election day agenda? What's your plan?
Oh, I'm going to be working the polls all day long. So I was, because I was like, I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. I cannot just be here, I don't know, twiddling my thumbs. So, well, here and across the country, really, I believe they really needed poll workers because most poll workers are elders, right?
Yeah.
Like folks that, and you know, been doing it since 1972, and and really can't be out here in this corona all day long. So they were really asking people here in New York to volunteer. I say volunteer, but we actually get paid. I didn't know that poll workers actually got paid, but we get paid. little stipend. Yeah, so I'll be working tomorrow. It's funny. Well, not funny, but they had put me out at a site that was like out in Coney Island, and I live where I live. I was like, that's like a $40 Uber ride.
Hello, for real.
I was like, that's not gonna work. But luckily, they were able to change me to another spot that's like a few blocks away. So
there you go.
We got to be there at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, and then how long?
Till it's done. Because basically, you know, the polls close at 9, but if there's a line wrapped around, as long as you're on that line before 9 o'clock, come in and vote.
When did they start the absentee ballot counting? Do you know?
I do not know.
If they do that afterward, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe doing it during. You know.
Yeah. Well, what I am going to say, and I've been saying this before, I'm going to say it to my New Yorkers, whoever's watching, please know your polling station. And the reason why I say that, and it sounds like simple, but like if you end up at the wrong spot and then you get there and you've waited online for 2 hours and you're like, oh, I don't have another 2 hours to like go to my other spot. I'm just going to vote here. You know, I'm going to take this affidavit ballot. Your vote will not be counted.
Sure won't.
Period.
No, they're not playing that this year. They're just
no matter how much you wish and pray.
I'm afraid, it don't work like that either.
Please, New York, I think it's nyc.vote, where you can go and you can find where your polling station is. I can't remember. I think it's I am a voter. Sorry, let me see. I'm gonna put a card up. Let me just look at it real quick. Nope, that's not the one. That's the one. I think it's vote.org. I am a voter. You know, check both, which you can find, you know, wherever you are in the country, then you can like find out, you know, what your precinct is or where you should go to find out your precinct and blah, blah, blah. Because hon, you at the wrong precinct, you think you filled out a ballot, it's all cute. It ain't getting
no, any excuse, baby. It's like, no. It's, I think it would be more strategic than let's just throw out this pile. Like,
yeah. And again, really don't try and mail anything today. That's done. Just take it in. Even if they make you wait online in some of these other states, just take it in and drop it with them because that mail joint ain't happening today. And I know that, I mean, I don't know if it was Kamala. I don't know if she was just talking about California because, you know, I know she's still, you know.
Yeah.
Because she was saying that, you know, as long as it's postmarked by the 3rd, it'll get counted. I ain't trusting that.
I don't either.
I understand that she's got goodwill for her state of California, but I'm like,
no. We even want the popular vote to be a huge landslide. So
right, exactly.
We need them. We need them.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, California comes in like sometimes 4 or 5 days later.
I know.
Like,
true, because it's so
whoa.
damn big.
So for here it's 6 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
And so when things really start kicking off over there, it's gonna be 2, 3 in the morning.
Right.
I'm gonna try to stay up, or I'm gonna just nap and wake up and wait to wake up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for, my plan is, just pay attention to Florida, North Carolina, and what is it? Wisconsin, I think it was. Florida and Wisconsin. And
just for presidential or everything, Senate, all that stuff.
Oh no, Senate. I got a few people I'm watching, of course.
Okay.
I need Doug to stay there. There's MG Hager in Texas, and I get rid of Cornyn. But I'm looking at that. I want to see how, if he wins those, if Biden wins those first 3, it makes the path for 45 much, much harder. So I'm, just because of Florida if you lost Florida, that trend is showing you're probably going to lose probably Ohio or
Florida. I'll rejoice at the loss of Florida. Are you kidding me? What?
I would love that. Yeah. So
yeah.
There all this talk about the shy Trump voter, and I think we need to look at the shy Biden voter. I mean,
yes.
I know.
I feel like, because I feel like much like we didn't know how all these white women were going to come out in 2016 and vote against themselves. Listen, I do feel that there are people that are just not, you're just not talking about who you're voting for, right?
Exactly.
And then it's going to be like, and people try and talk about the polls and all this kind of stuff, like, meaning like, what, who's ahead and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't think we really know.
No, we don't know. I look at Nate Silver, because he's the aggregate of all these, he's the smart guy in the room with polls.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we can always say, well, everybody was wrong in 2016, right? But the reality was that the vote that was tightening, and it got to 2.8 difference between them nationally, and that's within the margin of error. So they actually wrong. The trend was going that way. But I never believe polls aren't votes. Okay?
No.
Okay? And a lot of people on both sides, older Black people and the QAnon.
Oh my God.
Crazy heads.
Yeah.
They believe in deep state now. They don't answer. So there's a lot of voters on both sides that are going to come out. I just think it's going to be more on the Democratic side of people, also Black people, elderly church people. They like to vote in person. They're not going to that's their tradition. That's like a thing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I do think there's going to be surprises along the way. My hope is, that it looks even crazier than Obama's first term.
I know.
That thing was damn near all blue, so you got like 390 or something. If he could beat that, because we have to send this fella packing in spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's funny,
we need to see the credits rolling over his face, like, what I mean? Yeah.
I didn't even watch the election in 2016. Like, usually I will. Like, I'll watch every year.
Really?
2016, I did not watch at all. And
why?
I feel like at that point, I felt like it was so close. I know a lot of people just thought that Hillary was going to run with it, and they didn't really think that people were going to vote for that dude. And I just kind of felt like people had considered him a joke for so long that by the time that they realized that it wasn't, it was too late.
It was right. It
was too late.
Yeah, the media did treat him like a joke up until weeks before the election. I mean, it's like,
and then they tried to get all like, "Oh my God, this could
what's happening?"
I was just like,
but the people that were telling them, even crazy ass Michael Moore was saying, "Listen, y'all are missing. You know, I mean, and people are shaking the damn TV screens all over, you know, because we were like, no, you know,
Right.
Stop laughing. It's not funny because he's right now.
And I think it was also hearing a lot of like misogynistic conversation around her and the whole, what was it? The
email.
Not the emails. I'm talking with Black people was more like the crime side of it, you know, calling us secret predators, you know, that whole thing. And it's that whole thing of like, man, again, it's like nobody was saying that, you know, much like now, it's like, I'm not saying that this person is my person.
Right.
But, you know, like best interests.
Thank you. Okay. Y'all want to take 20 more steps backwards? Or you want to at least, can we up three? Next year, can we be 3 steps up? And if you're not thinking strategically for us, then you're only thinking strategically for yourself. And that is the crux of what we've been talking about. You know,
exactly.
And that would be the thing to slow the development to a crawl. You know, we really have to get past that, and hopefully we'll. I'm not. I don't want the world to be shut down forever. Trust me, because I got shit to do. I can't sit still too long.
I would just like to go on a proper vacation.
You know, I went an hour away on vacation.
Right.
Okay, we're away, but yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that I've been saying a lot too about this particular election. Is like, and as we talk about these other ones, like I think we really need to get out of our feelings. You know, like you know, our feelings about like, oh, this person isn't this, they're not doing all the things, and I'm like, listen, nobody has all the answers. Like, there's nobody's
gonna tick all the boxes for you.
Never. Because it didn't even happen for Obama. Everybody wasn't feeling Obama. No. Like everybody was not on, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, you know, we just gotta get out of this whole like, you know,
my way or the highway sort of thing.
My way or the highway.
You know, I think the what is it? They say that Republicans, we vote with they stay in line. Okay, they get in. You know, we get emotional. And Republicans just get in line. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Emotional and Republicans get in line. They just, okay, this is what we got to do because we have an agenda. And, you know, and they've been, this is not the 10-year agenda. This agenda has been, like you said, it's been building. And
yes, it's been building.
Decades.
Yes.
4 decades.
Yes.
When you look back at the start, there's a couple of documentaries and you look back and start reading stuff. It's like, wow, this is really like, you know, this is like serious evil genius shit. You know, I'm almost impressed. Wow. Y'all just did that. Okay. We didn't even see it coming. Just like,
yeah. And here we are. Man. So yeah, folks. I don't know if there's anybody out here watching this that's like on a fence still. Please don't on the fence. You know, we might just be out here talking, preaching to the choir, as they say. But if you know somebody who is still on the fence, like, you know, pull them folks down off that fence.
Give them $5, whatever. I'm just get them now.
Yeah,
and walk
them to the polls. Yeah. You know, I will say this too, and I can't believe we're at an hour and change already.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's so crazy how this time goes. But yeah, I wanted to say like, oh gosh, see now I lost my train of thought. But I did, like it totally went to
hey. You just caught that for me, don't worry about it. It'll come back.
I know. I just want to say to everybody really to like be encouraged. I think that's the main thrust. I know we've talked about a lot of things, you know, but I really do feel like Sandra, like, and we're going to blow this thing out tomorrow. Yes, we still have to make that walk from November 3rd to January 21st.
Yeah.
But I you know, I feel encouraged about that as well. I really feel like this is a time to we have an opportunity, I think is what it is. You know, a lot of this has felt really heavy and challenging, but I really feel like we have an opportunity to make great strides in this moment. And it's really about looking within, you know, and then coming and then being able to shine our light out, you know. And I know it sounds like corny and woo woo and all this kind of, but
it's just true words. They are what they are, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, at the risk of sounding super cliche, just go vote.
Yeah, we got it. We got to do this.
Understand that voting is just one thing. Like it's one action. It is not like vote and then you're gonna go sit down and, you know, drink your Cabernet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, have a glass of wine when it's over, but like get ready to be out there on Wednesday. Like Tuesday is just Tuesday. That's what I've been saying to people. Like Tuesday is another day of the week, and then there's Wednesday.
I read something in the Nation. This Dorian T. Warren said voting is not merely one right among many, an act of reducible to pulling a lever. It is an identity that is a marker of full citizenship. So whether you are the right or left, again, you know, it is a marker, but particularly for people of color who that was denied to, women who that was denied to, you know, by not exercising your right to vote, you're basically, you know, sort of pulling back one of your main markers of citizenship and participation in the rights that you were given. You just sort of, you know, lob them back almost by, you know, as if it's unimportant. And it is important. And it's not just important because people bled for it. It's important because it is important for how you live, how your family lives, how everybody, how the earth progresses. It matters. It really freaking matters. And I wanted to say the other word, but I stopped.
Yeah, and I think, and I also think it's interesting that we have, you know, as you said, it's like not just because people bled for it, but let's be real, like people got killed. Like it's
so desensitized for that by that, but it was amazing. You know, we just almost used to like so that we saw the water and the dogs and now it's pepper spray. It's like we just keep scrolling. We're freaking it's normalized and we're too desensitized for it to matter the way it should.
Absolutely.
You know, so we just lost Congressman John Lewis. I mean, I think that sort of almost brought it home because he's really the biggest of that.
Well, it was him and another brother, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting his name, but they died like days of each other.
Oh yeah, yes. And now his name just left my head too, but I know, you know
what I'm talking about though.
I do. Right. I mean, we got Andrew Young left. You know, he was on the balcony.
Yeah, and you know, Harry Belafonte's still out there.
Harry, he's out there.
Still schooling the children out here.
He is, and bringing it. Okay, just like
you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, I just like I was saying, I just want everybody to really know that like we just have to keep on keeping on. Just keep on keeping on. Tomorrow is another day, and like I said, after Tuesday is Wednesday. And we just have to keep on keeping on, no matter what happens, like no matter what. And I you know, like I always say, if Joe and Kamala win, we got to hold their feet to the fire.
Seriously,
we got to hold their feet to the fire.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's just what it is. It's like you just can't be like, oh, you know, like I said, we're not going to do the Obama Magic Negro situation where we sit back and think that.
No, we're not. We're not.
We're done with that.
No.
So, yeah, folks.
At least there are feet whose fire we can hold. You know what I mean? We can't do anything with Donald Trump.
Absolutely. So wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in, you know, get out there, do your part tomorrow. Find something I would say this: if you're going to go vote tomorrow, if tomorrow is the day you're deciding to do it, make a day to make it a light day as much as you can. Like, try and do something that's going to give you some joy tomorrow. You know what I mean? Even if you end up watching, the returns, but the returns ain't going to start coming in till 9:00 at night, Eastern time. So you got a whole day.
Yes.
You got a whole day.
Bake a cake.
Yeah, exactly. To do something that's going to make you feel good or give you some joy, or, find some folks to be with that you love if you can. I know we're not supposed to be super gathering, but, if you got a couple of folks or, people that you feel comfortable with, if you're somebody who say is by yourself, maybe just, find one friend, that you want to watch the returns with. So you're not by yourself. So if you feel like, if you need to scream or whatever, you can be looking at your friend doing it.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a lot of Zoom election watching.
That's true, right? Yeah, that's a
Definitely.
great idea. I didn't even think about that because I'm so zoomed out. But yeah,
I know, right?
Right. Have a Zoom gathering. At least you'll be with some people if you can't actually be in physical space with them. So, oh my gosh, I'm winding it down.
Yes.
But I want to say too, I played it on what did I play it on? Saturday. It's only been 2 days. But I played your video. I played the Family Stand video.
Oh yeah.
The new one. So if you were with us when Sandra was on the first time, she had asked people to send in some videos of, singing the chorus and so on and so forth for the song for Michelle. So that happened. And they put together a new video because the first video was the lyric video.
Right.
So I'm going to play it again to close this out because I think, we should see the new video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. But yeah, I didn't make a whole big video plan for today. But Sandra, thank you.
Thank you. I got to ramble about politics. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's funny because this is just what I wanted to do anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is kind of why I created this platform. I mean, I have all kind of other bells and whistles that happen,
Right.
but this is what I really wanted to do. So I thank you. I do want to say, of course, I should do my own shout outs for myself. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Blackbush. And I know some of you are watching on Facebook, but even if you watch on Facebook, please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe because the more subscribers I get, the more fun, exciting things I can do on YouTube. And I have like a little over 200 followers now. So thank you. But we need to get up to 1,000. So come on. I know you're out there. All you got to do is press subscribe. Only thing that's going to happen is you'll get a little notification when I go live or when I post something new. So, you want to be in the know. You want to know that. So
That's right.
And then follow me, the show on IG and Twitter at Punanny Politixxx, because sometimes I post things there that I'm not, sharing here. So you want to just be in the know about that. And then also on Saturday is my birthday. Yay!
Right. Zoom party.
So I don't know. I haven't planned a Zoom party. So if somebody else planned one, it'll be a surprise for me. But what I was going to say was I would have normally done the show on the 7th because that's the next auspicious moon, but it's my birthday. So I'm not going to do the show that day, but I am going to do the show on the 8th, which is on Sunday. And I'm not going to quite tell you who my guests are yet because I'm still holding out.
Okay.
For one more guest. I'm just like, I'm going to give it a few more days and see if it will happen. But if it doesn't, it's all good because the guests I have so far are amazing. So I'm very excited about that, but I'm not going to give it away yet. But you want to tune in on Sunday, November 8th for the next show. And then after that, I can't believe it's going to be the end of the season. So our final show is going to be on November 14th on the new moon in Scorpio, and with Gina Breedlove will be our guest.
Nice.
So I'm super excited about that. So thank you again, Sandra.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
We had some folks chiming in today. I'm going to shout people out because I don't normally do that. But we had Entified and Ian and my Uncle Richard and my friend Daniel and my girl Desiree. And yeah, so I'm my uncle just hit me. It was CT Vivian. That's the other person who passed away.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
I know, right? I just want to thank everybody. I don't usually shout people out in the comments because I have too much going on. Directing and producing everything.
Crew talent.
So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning into this episode of Punanny Politixxx. I again want to thank you, Sandra. And we're going to play this family stand video. If you want more information about Sandra, it's in the description on YouTube and on Facebook. So you can follow her and find her on all the socials and find out about all the great music and things that are coming and ahead. And yeah, we're just going to keep sharing the love. I love y'all. We got this tomorrow. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We love y'all.
Ashe.
All right. Have a good night, afternoon, morning. See y'all later. Peace.
When we go high, if they go low.